Hello, everyone. So it is saying I am live. So welcome, because I am live. And I just want to start by doing a personal disclaimer for everyone to know and understand that you need to chase your dreams as well as your drinks. And also to know that a good coach can change a game. A great coach can change your life. My name is Natasha Tot Telfair, Tot. That is me. I am your business coach, and today I decided to do a live so we can talk about communication. Because if you plan on being in business, you definitely need to learn how to properly communicate. So, without further ado, what I wanted to do is go over some communication tips. And there's very different types of communicators. So, depending on what type of communicator you are, that is how you need people to communicate with you. But you also need to understand how other people communicate so you will know how to properly communicate with them. So I'm trying to pull up my notes here, so please bear with me. And I'm really loving my lashes. I did them myself along with this little roller set. So first and foremost, communication is a two-way street. It is not one way, which means someone is going to be talking and someone else is going to be listening. You must actively listen. That's why you have one mouth and two ears, okay? So you can listen as much as you talk. Sometimes we need to be sure that we are listening to understand and not listening to respond. I feel people that listen to respond, they always miss the message. When they think they know what to say, they've automatically tuned that person out. They've missed all of the pertinent information they need to properly reply. And then they reply from a place of inaccuracy, annoyingness, selfishness, ego. So you always want to be sure that you are actually listening to understand, not listening to respond. So you have verbal communication, nonverbal communication, written communication, and your visual communication. So those are the different types of communication, but there are different communication styles, which is what I wanted to kind of dig into today. And then I'm going to tell you things about me that people that don't really know me may not understand where I'm coming from when I communicate, and they are not necessarily adjusting to try to understand the correct way to communicate with me. So you have analytical, intuitive, functional, and personal communication styles. So I'm going to try to give a brief breakdown, and I wish I would have had my little notes. Notes come in real handy with doing lives. So a person that's analytical, you need to really understand them because they don't necessarily prefer small talk, and they prefer to make their point known immediately. And this is really personal, and it's just a part of how they interact. I am an analytical person, so I like to get to the point because I like to multitask and have different things to do because I like to stay busy. So when I go in a little bit granular on this communication, explain some of the communication things or styles that I have inside of being analytical. I think analytical is more like the umbrella at the top of communication, but you can't just put people in a box and say, oh, this person is analytical, so I need to do ding, 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 ding. No. Okay, so this is high level. So you have an analytical person and they just like to hit the points, talk it through, and then move on. And I'm that type of person. I'm an analytical person. So you'll have an intuitive communication style, and they're essentially the opposite of analytical because they like to engage in a lot of conversation. So they prefer more of a casual, big picture approach to convey their points and appreciate when others do the same. Details aren't as important to them as they prefer out of the box thinking. Intuitive communicators don't need to hear things in linear order to understand concepts and prefer a broad overview instead. So for me, I'm analytical. So don't give me ZAKB. No, because I'm gonna be like, hold on. I need ABC. Like I need order of events, because I also like to dig into root cause analysis. And in order to do that, you have to understand the sequence of events in order to identify the gaps so you can plug in the correct fix. So I actually like to solve problems. That really excites me. Our next communication style, and it says for intuitive, how to work with them. When working with an intuitive communicator, it's important to take a step back from the details of a subject and get to the heart of the idea before connecting, because a lot of times they may speak and they are not speaking of where they're actually mentally coming from or what they want to say. They're kind of like going around the horse, or, avoiding the elephant in the room, and they'll ask other stuff. And so they're just getting to the meat of it, like an analytical person was. Let's just get to this, figure it out what it is, and move on. So their style is a little bit different. They prefer to cut to the chase and may not appreciate step-by-step instructions. They tend to prefer in-person communication so they can grasp the concept faster. And rather than including all the details of a concept, you should try explaining why the concept is important and how it is connected to the grand scheme of things. You may need to send the details via email later. So they need, to me, if you got to send it via email later, they need the details, maybe just not right then. So then you have functional, and functional communicators like details, processes, timelines, and other well thought out plans. They want to ensure that no details are left out of any communications by laying out their thoughts in a linear manner. Contrary to the intuitive communicator, who would prefer to skip all the details and get to the end of a conversation, functional communicators will feel like they are missing context and important bits of information. So a functional communicator, they will not try to go to the next step until they're understanding everything. And an intuitive communicator, they will try to jump the gun to the fix without really understanding the necessary pieces to the puzzle. So for them, they'll tend to ask a lot of questions, prefer completed plans. They need consistent feedback. I kind of feel like I fall in that bucket too, even though I'm analytical, because I will ask a lot of questions. If I don't understand, I'm asking questions. I don't necessarily prefer completed plans. So in that part, I don't, because I'm okay with saying, okay, we're starting here. We don't necessarily know where we're going, but we know we need to start somewhere, and need consistent feedback, because I need to know, did you understand me? Did I understand you? What could I have done differently, better, or not done at all? So I'm kind of in that category too. So how to work with them. When working with a functional communicator, you should ensure that they have all the available information up front. Yes. Giving them a written timeline or a list of expectations before discussing a project gives them time to formulate questions. Answering these questions is important to their success, and I'm more than sure they don't like missing deadlines. That's why they want them. For example, instead of asking a functional communicator to come up with a big idea, allow them to be the implementer. Their attention to detail and process-driven thought patterns make them the perfect candidate to take action and carry out plans. And then you have the personal communication style. So they use emotion and connection to understand the world around them. They value assessing how their coworkers think, feel, and what they are motivated by. I kind of lack in the personal area, and I need to get better. So this is where I need to know how to pivot and be able to adjust to other people. So they prefer personal relationships with the people they work with in order to gauge what they're thinking. They're typically able to recognize nonverbal communication and read between the lines, especially when they know the person they're collaborating with. They often are seen as diplomatic, prefer to speak in person, and communicate their feelings. I might be wrong, but I want to interject. They probably jumped the gun too, because they are internalizing different things and looking at things from their perspective, but not necessarily digging in to be sure if their perspective is accurate or not. So that's just my thing. And it says how to work with them. When working with a personal communicator, it's important to establish a connection before diving into the details of a project. Use emotional language and consider asking them how they feel about certain options for decisions. Because if you don't ask them how they feel, you're not going to know what they would have told someone else. So rather than approaching these people with data and hard numbers, you should take the time to get to know them and to your thoughts. Discussing why you came to certain conclusions or use a certain process can make them all the difference for personal communicators. So, with those different communication styles, you can then build a rapport by understanding what those people need. And I did not break down analytical. So, let me break down analytical a little bit. Um, so, analytical communicators can be seen as authoritative and informed as they often possess high levels of data and expertise. So, I think I'm analytical and intuitive, and I think that's where people get confused because they put me in that analytical box, not realizing people can have more than one communication style. You can't put people in a box, okay? Take them out the box, okay, and let them be free. That's all I got to say. So they like to use their logic rather than intuition, are perceived as reliable and dependable, and they come off as cold. And I can come off real cold. Like I can come off like ice, baby. And I'm trying not to do that. So that's an area of opportunity that I have. And I'm really that way because I have trust issues. So what we're going to really dive into today is working with others. So there's other pieces of the communication style factor. And there's a lot of these different areas. I'm gonna just pin on the ones that for anyone that might watch this and you might meet me or work with me for whatever reason, for you to better understand my communication style and how to work with me. And then that way, as we build a rapport, I feel it'll make a true, genuine connection and relationship because you'll understand me. And I know for a fact, I'm going to try my best to understand you. I'm going to try to pivot and adjust and be flexible to your communication style. But I also want to request the same thing when you're working for me. It's kind of annoying when it keeps going one way, where I keep going this, I'm doing this and no one's ever coming this way. And that's how I can feel. And a lot of times, and in my personal life, I can just walk away and say, hey, you got to deal with this. But unfortunately, at work, you have to learn how to adjust. So I don't want to say constantly, but very often I go back to reading through communication, trying to understand how to communicate with different people, how to understand different people. How can I clear up my communication? How can I say things differently or better? So a lot of times now I might ask questions, I might say something and I'll say, okay, does that help? Does that make sense? And even in the comments, when you're watching this live, if you're not watching it now, you're catching a replay. If you have a question or if I said something that just didn't make sense, leave a message because that's going to help me because I do like feedback. Because that's how you grow. Feedback is the same as constructive criticism. So if no one comes and tells you something that you're doing that isn't coming off the right way, or you could do differently, or hey, maybe you should stop doing this because this is how it's coming off or something. And even though it's not your intent, you have to accept the fact if it's making someone else feel a certain way. So diving right in. So when you're working with people who may be an achiever, and I'm not going to, this is actually, there's a quiz on, I can't remember the website. I want to say starts with a G. I'm going to try to get the website, but when you're working with people that are achievers, you establish a relationship with this person by working alongside them. Working hard together is often a bonding experience for the person because they're annoyed by slackers. I'm very annoyed by slackers because it's like, what are we really doing if you're not really doing what you should be doing? Okay. Recognize that this person likes to be busy. Sitting in meetings is likely to be very boring for them. So only invite them to meetings where you really need them to be fully engaged. If it doesn't need to be at the meeting, let them get their work done instead. And I'm definitely an advocate for that because if I don't need to be there, there's other stuff that I could be doing. And I can say that, within the last 5 years, every meeting that I've been in, it's a meeting I actually needed to be in. But I have worked at places where I would be in meetings and I used to be like, why am I here? And work is piling up at my desk. Why am I here? So that's really good to know. And then this person, this right here, this is not me. This person may well need less sleep and get up earlier than others. I do need less sleep, but I do not get up early because generally I'm still up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Because maybe I just can't sleep. Or I'm working on something. So I'm not necessarily going to be that early riser that's in the office at 6, 7, and 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, no, now I'll be there by 9. I can be there by 9. But 6, 7, 8, that's real early. And I think even going all the way back to when I worked, I'm going all the way back to paychecks. My start time was always 8:30 because I've never, ever in my life been a morning person. The next part is, and I'm just gonna, now you have a person that's called an activator. I'm not an activator, so I'm not going to go through the things that I am not, because I don't want to extend this live too long. And the whole purpose of this live is to help people connect with me in case you work with me in any type of capacity, because as you all know, I cross in different fields. I deal with different people, and I actually like to help people, sharing knowledge. And currently, I'm starting to work with a lot of people that are starting their own business, but they don't understand business. So I'm in the business of helping business owners understand and know business without the formal training. So that's basically what I do. So I consider myself a business coach. I'm also a life coach too. I can help you get it together. Okay. I'm the head life correction coach at getyourlifetogether.org. Okay. So adaptability, you have to have adaptability. So dealing with a person who has adaptability, this person is instinctively flexible nature, makes him a valuable addition to any team. I'm a her, I'm not a him. So let's say them. When plans go awry, she will adjust, or they will adjust to the new circumstances and try to make progress. They will not sit on the sidelines and sulk. I understand that change is inevitable. So when change happens, your best choice is to just pivot with the change instead of trying to avoid it or just push up against it and push back on it. Just go with it, because if change is happening, it's going to happen. So it's easier to adapt to the change as early as possible, because then that puts you in the forefront. So for me, I can change like that. Like 1 minute I'm happy, the next minute I might be like, snapping, crying, who knows? It depends on what happens. So some people, they can't necessarily change their emotions like that, but I can love you today and not care about you tomorrow. But we're going to let that go because this is not what this live is about. Okay. Into who? So with the person's willingness to go with the flow, they can provide a wonderful environment in which others can experiment and learn. When you have someone that is pushing back against change, they can be a cancerous plug to just suck the life out of everyone else that's trying to adapt to change. And the ones that are struggling with change, it's going to give them more negative emotions. So you want to be sure that you address those people that are really pushing back on change, because they can really hinder an organization. This person will be most productive on short-term assignments and require immediate action. They prefer a life filled with many quick skirmishes rather than long, drawn-out campaigns. And that is me all day. Like, for example, this election, I don't know about everybody else, but in Georgia, I got annoyed. And we have a whole nother election on January 29th. And I'm like, y'all couldn't run this on January 6th with the other people? So I like things to be done and over with, because I like to see the result. I like to see, okay, this is where we started from. This is where, okay, improved. And then, just keep moving. That's why I believe in continuous process improvement. I don't believe in doing long hauls where it's like, okay, we're right here. And, it's going to take us 5 years to get there. Okay, I get where we're going. But what are the short spurts? Okay, we're right here today. In 3 months, we'll be here. So that's an accomplishment. Okay, and in 3 months, we're here. And then in another 6 months, we'll be here. That's another accomplishment. So I like to see the accomplishments along the way, because to have to wait 5 years to see if something worked or not, that would annoy me. So the next thing about me is that I'm analytical, which I've already mentioned. That's actually one of my communication styles. It is not my only communication style, but it is probably the most high on my communication style list. So this person, whenever involved with an important decision, they take the time to think through the issues with other people that are involved, and they want to know all the key factors. Like, I want to know, just for me. Like, if I do or say something, I need to know, was I wrong? Was I right? Okay, because I need to correct it. So if I'm involved in an important decision, I need to know all the factors, all the aspects that are required for me to make the sound decision that I may need to make. So, like, you can't hold certain information, like, give me everything I need to know. That way I can make a well informed decision. When defending a decision or a principle, show this person the supporting numbers. Yes, because I like data and I like facts. Um, they instinctively give more credibility to information that displays numbers because accuracy is so important to the person. Getting a task done correctly may be more important to them than meeting a deadline. That part, not so much, because I want to meet the deadline, but I want to do it accurately and correctly as well. So I'm not going to skip on it, but I'm going to still meet the deadline. If I know that, hey, my deadline is Wednesday and it's some kinks that I got to work out and I may not make it until Thursday, I'm going to inform everybody that needs to be informed in advance that, hey, I know I gave a deadline of Wednesday at 5 p.m., but I feel like this may not be finished until Thursday at noon. That way I've adjusted the deadline, but I know I got to really kick in the high gear to be sure that I provide the correct results. And as the deadline draws near, keep checking in with them to make sure that the job was done right. No, don't keep checking in with me. Like, for me, don't do that, because you interrupted my thought process and my flow. I need you to just know that, hey, I have it. If I have an issue with it, I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to ask for help and I'm going to connect you. Now, if you just want to update, that's fine. But I'm reading this like it's like every 5 minutes. How's it going? Like, no, I don't need that, because to me, that's irritating. Working with others who are an arranger. I consider myself an arranger. So this person is excited by complex, multifaceted assignments. They'll thrive in situations in which many things going on at the same time. As mentioned, I like to multitask. When launching a project, ask this person for help in positioning the members of the project team. They're good at figuring out how each person's strengths might add greatest value to the team. I don't know if I'm really good in that area. I might be, not necessarily sure. I'll give myself probably like a 65 out of 100. And the person can be resourceful, which is true, and feel confident that if something is not working, they will enjoy figuring it out other ways of doing it. And that kind of goes back to the other one. I got it. If I don't, I'll come reach out to you. Belief, dealing with a person with belief. I have very high standards, high expectations, and a very sound belief system. So I'm very passionate about the things closest to my heart. So it says, when working with these people, discover that passion and help them connect that passion to the work that they do. Learn about the person's family and community. They'll have rock solid commitments in those areas. Appreciate and honor those commitments, and they'll have respect for you. For me, it's family. Like, family is over everything. Period. Because at the end of the day, when family is gone, you really can't replace them. So, and you don't have to share the person's belief system. So you don't have to share my belief system. I just want you to understand it and respect it and let it apply where it applies. So going down, there's people that have command. I don't have command, so I'm not going to go through that. So working with others who have communication. So like I said, I'm constantly working on my communication. So this person finds it easy to carry on a conversation. Ask them to come to social gatherings, dinners, events where you want to entertain prospects or customers. Now I'm giving this information because I really don't have communication, but I'm constantly working on it. So if you invite me to a social gathering, I am an introvert. So I will force myself to be an extrovert. And once I'm comfortable enough, I'll try to mingle around and talk to people. But I generally like being there with someone that I know and I'm comfortable with. And that's generally who I'm talking to. And they'll kind of introduce me to other people and then we'll engage that way. But on somewhere by myself, it's going to take me a minute to warm up just to the environment because I'm an introvert, and then to the people if I know no one. Take the time to hear about the person's life and experiences. They enjoy telling you and you enjoy listening, and the relationship will be closer because of it. Discuss plans for your organization's social events with this person, and they're likely to have good ideas both for entertainment and for what should be communicated at the event. The only thing I'm good at when it comes to events is planning food, because I'm a foodie. I love food, and I feel like food helps people kind of marry together and be happy. So food is my way of trying to communicate with people. And I think when you break bread with a person, it makes it a lot easier. So the next one is competition. Um, Working with these people, they have a competitive language. So it's a win lose world for them. And for me, I'm not competitive. So I simply highlighted this because I need to start being more mindful when people have a competitive um, type of style to kind of understand that and how I need to deal with them. So, from their perspective, achieving a goal is winning and missing a goal is losing. Help this person find places where they can win. If they lose repeatedly, they'll stop playing. They'll just take their ball and leave the playground like, I don't want to do this anymore. And the contests that matter to them, they don't compete for the fun of it. They compete to win. So it's not even fun. It's like, nope, I gotta win because that's why I'm doing this. The person when they lose, they may need to mourn for a while, but just let them mourn, and then they'll kind of quickly move into another opportunity that they feel they can win. So that's one thing that I need to learn, the people that like to compete, because I don't compete in no, absolutely no area of my life. Like I was never into sports. Never. So the only person I compete with is myself. So that's why I'm the best version of me that I can be. But I compete in nothing but for no one. And when I say nothing for no one, I mean nothing for no one. So I don't compete to be someone's best friend, good friend, girlfriend, wife, fiance. I don't compete. I don't. That's not for me. Okay, so next we are going to go to connectedness. And I have no idea how long this live is going to be, but it will be on YouTube if you want to watch it. Okay, okay. So, connectedness. I do feel I have connectedness because there's something that I'm very passionate about, and that is human rights and civil rights. And baby, if you come to talk to me about those right now, whew, you're going to hear it in the conversation. So this person will likely have social issues that they'll defend strongly. Listen closely to know what inspires this passion in them. Your acceptance of these issues will influence the depth of the relationship you can build with them. Encourage this person to build bridges to different groups in your organization. Um, they naturally think about how things are connected. So you should excel at showing different people how to rely on each other so they can help people be connected and understand where the gap is at. And, like, hey, it was like we're all a big train, and, and this company is the caboose and we're all connected. Yeah, that's um, if you also have dominant connected talents, share articles, writings, and experiences with this person, you can help reinforce their focus. And Gallup, I'm sorry, this is where this is from. It's from Gallup Inc. So it's a communication style quiz that I took, and then it kind of gives you your top 5 strengths, which I don't have mine in front of me, but I know one of them, the only one that I really remember, was futuristic. And the reason why I remembered that one is because I always try to think future state of things. So when I'm problem solving, especially when I'm doing root cause analysis case studies, I'm really looking at where we're at current state and where we're trying to go, which is futuristic. And then I try to identify the gaps in between there and fill those gaps to put a process in place to bridge the gap so you can get to that end result. So going on, there's consistency in here, context. If I'm just calling them out and not talking about them, I don't have them. Or it may be I'll talk about them and I'm saying I don't have this, but this is something that I'm really working on and trying to understand, because I'm realizing, okay, this is a gap in my communication. This is a piece that I really need to better understand and connect to, so I can start to communicate better with people that may fall in this category. So people that are deliberative, you ask the person to join team or groups that tend to be impulsive. They'll have a temporizing effect, adding much needed thoughtfulness and anticipation to the mix. The person is likely to be a rigorous thinker. Before you make a decision, ask them to help you identify the landmines that may derail your plans. Respect the fact that this person may be private and less invited. Do not push to become too familiar with them too quickly. And by the same token, don't take it personally if they keep you at arm's length. Baby, That is me all day, every day. Like my homegirls, homeboys, I can sit up there and I can help you put your pulse on stuff and say, okay, this is the issue right here, and this is what you need to work on. I can do that, but I'm not going to do it unless you necessarily come to me with your issue to talk about it. Because I'm not going to just project myself on people. I'm not going to do that. And also, I'm a very private person, so I'm not necessarily going to invite everybody into my world to understand what I'm struggling with or what I'm trying to figure out. So that is definitely me. Then you have developer, which I don't feel like I am. Then you have discipline. When working on a project with this person, make sure to give them advance notice of deadlines, because I don't like to miss deadlines. I don't like last minute, like, oh, it's due today. Like, why didn't you tell me that a week ago when you told me about doing it? This person will feel to get, they'll work to get the, they will work hard to get the work done ahead of schedule. And if this can't be done, you don't tell them about the deadlines. Try not to surprise this person with sudden changes in plans and priorities. The unexpected is distressing to them and it can ruin their day. Now, if I'm working on a project and it's a last minute change, it's going to stress me out. Now, let's be clear. I'm going to adjust to the change because change is inevitable, but I am going to be stressed out because that means everything that I had worked on up to that point might potentially now be garbage, and now I'm back at ground zero. But if this is still due in 1 week and I have been working on it for 3 months, baby, I have a problem. So I'm going to be stressed out, okay? And I'm going to go pulling my eyelashes out and all that other crazy stuff because I'm trying to get it together and meet a deadline. So it triggers my anxiety. Whole nother episode. Okay, we ain't going to talk about that today. So disorganization will annoy this person. Don't expect them to last long in a physically cluttered environment. I went and took all of my information from my CPA because he used to always come to the salon and collect my receipts and all my information, and he was supposed to send me reports. And I'm like, why this man ain't sent me nothing yet? So when I finally go to his office, it was a hot, cluttered mess, okay? He had boxes and boxes and boxes, just up to the wall boxes, stacked like right next to each other, like throughout. I was like, what the hell? I said, yeah, I'm gonna just take my stuff and, because I was like, he gonna lose my paperwork. So since then, I started always doing my own bookkeeping, my own taxes. I've kept up with all of my stuff. So that's why I have so much knowledge in that area, because I have trust issues and I just couldn't trust him to keep up with my stuff in case I was audited by the IRS or to have it done timely or whatever. So I just took over and started doing it myself. Empathy. I have empathy for people. Empathy means that you put yourself in that other person's shoes and you say, if this was me, how would I feel? Being empathetic is not the same as being sympathetic. Having sympathy for a person is saying, oh gosh, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But you're not really understanding how they're feeling. You're just sorry that happened. But when you're empathetic with a person, you put yourself in that person's shoes and you say, oh God, that sucks. Oh my God, I know how you feel. It just gives you a totally different feeling. So according to Gallup, it says, ask this person to help you understand how certain people in your organization are feeling. They're sensitive to the emotions of others. I am very sensitive to the emotions of others. I'm also like a fortress, so people can confide in me, and I'm not necessarily going to go and tell what was told to me in confidence, because I'm encouraging that person to go and speak to the right people that they need to speak to. And in order for that to be a genuine and authentic conversation, it needs to happen when it comes to the table. Otherwise, this other person might have thought about it, sulked on it, got an attitude about it. And by the time this person finally gets the courage to come and have that conversation with them, it goes the complete wrong way. And then this person might be looking at you like, why did you go and tell? I came to you in confidence. It's kind of like going to the priest and the priest tell everybody else what went on except God. That's kind of how I look at it when people tell you things in confidence. So before securing this person's commitment to a particular course of action, ask them how they feel, how other people feel about the issues involved. And for them, emotions are as real as other more practical factors and must be weighed when making decisions. Sometimes you do have to understand people's decision, not their decision, their emotions, even though their emotions may not necessarily be a part of the solution, but you are taking their emotions into consideration. So the best way to do that, in my opinion, you have to empathize with that person to understand what they're feeling and what they're going through. And then when you're looking at your ultimate decision that you're going to make, you'll know you need to go and have a conversation with this person to help them understand or to feel better, but also to connect them that, hey, I understand how you feel. However, and then you have to work to get that person's buy-in on whatever it's going to be. But you can't do that if you're not empathetic with that person. That's just my personal belief. And you can't be empathetic with a person unless you put yourself in their shoes to understand how that person might be feeling. Not how you feel, not how you think a person should feel, but how that person actually feels. That makes a difference for people. The next one is focus. I do believe I have focus. So when projects are with critical deadlines, try to involve this person. They instinctively honor timeliness and commitments. As soon as they own a project with a deadline, they'll concentrate all their energies on it until it's complete. Ding, 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 ding. Because I don't like missing deadlines. Be aware that unstructured meetings will bother this person. So when they're present at a meeting, try to follow the agenda. I do get annoyed when there's meetings with no agenda and I'm trying to figure out, okay, where we're going. Now, if the meeting's starting and there's no agenda, but everything's making sense, okay, cool. But if I'm in a meeting, there's no agenda, nothing's making sense. My question is going back to, why am I here and I have work to do? So don't expect this person to always be sensitive to the feelings of others, because getting their work done takes priority over other people's sensitivities. And that's something that I had to work on. And I think I'm a lot better, because it used to be, people would come to my desk and talk to me. And because I can multitask, I could type, because I can type without actually looking at my keyboard. And I would listen to the person, and every now and then I'm like, yeah. And then I ended up getting the feedback that the person felt like I was they were bothering me, or that I wasn't paying attention. But they realized I was paying attention, because when I did provide the answer, it was the accurate answer, but they wanted my undivided attention. So that's something that through feedback, I realized, it's working for me, but it doesn't work for other people. So now I know how to stop and turn around and say, hi, how are you doing today? How can I help you? And give them what they need. So a lot of times when you're learning communication, one, it's a two-way street, and two, you have to be able to be flexible and adaptable, because it may not be something that you necessarily want to do or feel the need to do. But if that's what that other person is trying to communicate with you needs, in order for them to effectively communicate, you need to be able to adapt to their communication style. But that person also should be trying to adapt to yours. So somewhere it should be a happy medium where you all meet in the middle. So if a person is constantly doing this, like I said, I feel like they're constantly leaning toward other people, nobody's leaning toward them. Okay, that's going to get a little annoying. And that person is going to start to feel misunderstood, constantly misunderstood. They're going to start to feel misplaced, and they're just going to start doing a lot of thinking about a lot of things. Experience. So futuristic, which I was telling you guys, I am futuristic. This was identified, and I explained to you guys why. So this is what they say a futuristic person is, that they have the futuristic characteristic. So these are different communication characteristics. So you have your communication style, and then you have different communication characteristics. So you cannot put a person in a box by saying, oh, you're analytical, so this is everything you need. No, there's other things that goes with communication outside of these boxes that we want to stick people in. And I feel I was constantly stuck in this analytical box. And it was crazy, because I went to one class and it said I was analytical. I went to another class, it said I was a driver. And I'm like, okay. And one had me up higher and one had me down lower. And I'm like, well, what does this mean? Well, I didn't learn until I took the Gallup class to understand that, hey, you have your communication styles, but you also have different communication. Excuse me. Now I wish I had some water. One moment. Sorry about that. You have different communication characteristics. So these are the characteristics of various communication styles. So a futuristic person, um, but this person lives for the future, which I do. I really do. Ask them to share their vision with you, their vision about their career, about the organization, or about the marketplace or field in general. Generally, when I'm looking to, because I'll dabble in the stock market, I'm always trying to think future state, like, okay, well, what do people need? What will people always buy? And then I'll start thinking of the companies that kind of match that need. And then I'll start to do my research from there. But that's always my first starting point, because you don't want to invest in something that's going to be dead in a year or two. But if you can see it being around for another 10, 20, 50 years, it's like, it's a no brainer. Go ahead and invest in it. Stimulate this person by talking with them often about what could be. Ask lots of questions. Push them to make the future they see as vivid as possible. Send this person any data or articles you spot that would be of interest to them. They need Gerst for their futuristic meal. Now, I don't feel like I need all that, but I do like understanding, hey, where are we going, where are we at, different things like that. Okay, so the next one is harmony. Steer this person as far as possible away from conflict. I don't like to deal with nothing negative. Okay. Like, my life is rainbows and unicorns. I like positive love and light. Like, I don't like negativity. I don't care for confrontation, but I understand that disagreements have to be talked through, and that's understandable. But a confrontation is completely different. Negative energy is completely different. And those are things that I choose not to deal with, not to engage in. And I will totally detach myself from anyone that I feel fits those categories where you cannot come into my aura. Okay. Period. So try not to invite them to meetings where there will almost certainly be arguments, because they are not their best when confronting others. Because, I can go from 0 to 100 real quick. So me confronting somebody else is not a good situation. So I try not to, because it just probably won't end well. Don't waste your time discussing controversial subjects with this person. They will not enjoy a debate for its own sake. Instead, keep your discussions focused on practical matters about which clear action can be taken. Don't come to me gossiping. I don't do gossip. I don't deal with gossip. The only gossip that I really like to talk about is celebrity gossip. And celebrity gossip really is not gossip. It's just trying to figure out what the celebrity's doing, because they're so secretive. They don't tell us. And they're intriguing. It's like, whoa. But personal, like, people that I don't do gossip. No. Not my forte, not my thing. So when others are locked in disagreement, this person can help unlock them. They will not necessarily resolve the subject under debate, but will help people find other areas where they agree. This common ground can be the starting point for working productively together. The next one is ideation. This person enjoys the power of words. Whenever you come across a word combination that perfectly captures a concept, idea, or a pattern, share it with them. It will stimulate their thinking. I love a good word, honey. I tell people all the time, I am Jesse Jackson's daughter, baby. I would make up a word. I make up a word. People say, oh, that sounds good. I don't know if it's a word or not. Sometimes I use words in the incorrect context, in the wrong sentence, because I just like the way the word sound, and I feel like this is where it goes. So sometimes I'm wrong there. So I do feel when it comes to ideation, that is definitely me, because I love a good word. Okay, I was a member of Money Talks Toastmasters Club in St. Petersburg, Florida. I was the winner of the regional. Was it regional? Maybe it wasn't. I think it was regional. Humorous speech contest. I love comedy. I love making people laugh. And I've always felt like my personality and my comedy and laughter and things like that, I always try to put a positive spin on stuff, and I felt comedy always did that. But sometimes you have people that don't like comedy that much, like they find the negative in it. So go be it. So you have to know when you can use it and when you cannot use it. This person will particularly be effective as a designer, whether of sales strategies, marketing campaigns, customer service solutions, or new products. Whenever possible, try to make the most of their ability to create. Now, I am a creative, and I create at home. I do not necessarily create at work. Like in the business world, my thing is root cause analysis, problem resolution, dealing with escalations. Like that is my forte. I'm not necessarily trying to create at work, but if I'm in a salon environment, yes, I will create. If I'm at home, I like to paint. I like to do resin. There's different things that I like to do that are creative, but in the business environment, no. Don't put me on the marketing campaign because I don't know if I can be the best at that. Okay. Try to feed this person new ideas. They thrive from them. They will not only be more excited about their work, but also use these new concepts to generate new insights and discoveries on their own. However, don't tell me about an idea that's not going to come to fruition. Like, don't connect me to stuff just to connect me to it, as if I'm gonna have something to do with it, and I'm not. Like, don't get my hopes up all high and let me down. Like, no, don't do that. No, what you telling me for? Okay, like, what you telling me for? They have an includer, which I am not, individualization, which I am not, input, intellection, which I am. Don't hesitate to challenge this person's thinking. They probably won't be threatened by this. I will not be threatened by nobody challenging my thoughts, my actions, or my words, because again, like I said, feedback is constructive criticism. And if nobody gives it to you, then how would you even know? Okay. So I appreciate it. On the contrary, they take it as a sign that you're paying attention, which I do, and I greatly appreciate it. And when faced with books, articles, or proposals that need to be evaluated, ask this person to read them and let you know what they think. I do love to read, but I love to read what I want to read. So if I'm in a work environment, don't ask me to read something if I don't really want to read it. Like, I have a hunger and a thirst for knowledge, but it's some stuff that is just boring to me. I don't want to know that. It's certain books that people is just like, woo, woo, and then I go and buy the book and I'm like, this book ain't good. So I like to read what I like to read. So you'll notice if you do go to Gallup and take the test, when you read through this stuff, you might see bits and pieces of you in it, but you have to eat the meat, throw it away the bone, as they say, and understand that someone else wrote this that doesn't know you. So they may not be fully connected to you, but they are connected to those characters, those communication characteristics. So that's the only thing they're speaking on. They can't tell you who you naturally are, because then they would be putting you in a box. So the only person that really knows who you are is you, and you have to do your best that you can do to help people understand who you are as a person. But if people don't take that step to try to know you and they want to put you in a box, then hey, all you can do is keep being you. I'm preaching to myself right now. Let the choir say, oh, okay, let me move on. So when you're faced, hold on. So capitalize on the fact that thinking energizes this person. I got a big head for a reason. I love to think. When you need to explain why something has to be done, ask them to think it through and help you uncover a detailed explanation. So again, that's kind of going to my root cause. Like I'm not always helpful in this area, but sometimes I might be. So then you have a person that's a learner. I'm definitely a learner. I spent over 20 years in college. Okay, my mom said you're a career college student, but I was really like getting degrees. So I have a bachelor's degree in public policy and administration, which it took me 20 years to finish just because life happened. Just life happened. I have my associates in business management. I have my application certificate for accounting. I have I'm a certified payroll professional, so I'm a CPP. I also took the SHRUM, which is the human resources class. I didn't take the examination because I decided I didn't want to go into HR at first. I thought I did, but it was really more so for the money than for the desire. Because I'm like, payroll is still HR. It's almost like payroll, human resources and accounting married together and had a baby, and that baby was called payroll. And that's why I find my passion at. So I'm like, okay, I'm cool right here where I'm at. I have a cosmetology license in the state of Georgia and the state of Florida. I'm also a medical assistant where I went to school for that in the state of Florida. So it's like I have all this stuff because I'm constantly wanting to learn. I am currently 8 classes away from having my bachelor's in accounting and 5 classes away from having my bachelor's in business management. Right now, I only have an associate's in business management. Do I plan on going back to finish those 2? I don't know. I kind of like doing the website stuff again. So do I want to kind of go and get the updated skill set on that? Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to be an attorney. Why I end up going to law school? I don't know. So that's where I'm at right now. But I love to learn. So right now, what I'm learning and just focusing on my time and energy on is manifesting, because this is something I've been doing my whole life that I never knew I was doing it. Until last week, I'm in a room on Clubhouse and they're talking about manifesting. I'm like, hold on. I've been doing this my whole life. Because when I look at where I came from to where I'm at, it was all through manifestation. So this person, you help this person track their learning progress by identifying milestones or levels that they've reached, celebrate those achievements, encourage this person to become a master of trade or a resident expert in a specific area. This will feed their need for extreme competency. So I still sit down and study things about payroll and payroll tax, even though I'm in payroll still, but the duties are real segregated at the company I work at. So there's a tax department that I don't need to deal with it, but I actually started in payroll doing A to Z payroll at Paychecks where I had to know payroll and payroll tax. And I really enjoyed it. Then I worked at Ceridian for 2 years just dealing with tax. And since then, left from there and went to another company still dealing with tax and another company still dealing with tax. So I've always tried to keep abreast of all tax changes and things because I want to know payroll and payroll tax, which is very rare because sometimes you'll have people that know payroll tax and you'll have people that know payroll, but very rarely do you meet someone that can marry and know the two. So I know both. So I'm a rare find. They have a maximizer, which I am not. Then you have positivity. This person brings drama and energy to the workplace. Drama and energy, okay? Drama and energy to the workplace. They'll make your organization more positive and dynamic, okay? So the drama is not negative. It's still positive, but it's to make it dynamic where people enjoy going to work. It's bringing fun into the workplace. It's not just going to work. It's like you're going to work, but it's enjoyable while you're at work. It's not like heads down, just doing your work and you can't get up, you can't do nothing, you can't talk to your neighbor. Nobody wants to work like that. I want to be, hey, did you watch such and such show last night? Oh, y'all going to the concert? Like, those are the conversations I like to have because I do like to engage with people that I work with. Like, I intentionally do that because I am an introvert. I force myself to be an extrovert and I don't want to connect with people about work items because that's going to be natural. I need to connect with people on a personal level. So I need to find things that they like and that they're interested in. And that helps me to find a common ground with people to have a conversation that's not work related so they can genuinely get to know me. I can genuinely get to know them and we can build an authentic relationship. So that's my whole goal when I'm doing those types of things. Positivity theme doesn't imply that this person is always in a good mood because I am not always in a good mood. I'm not going to lie. Nobody is always in a good mood. Smile or just stay out of other people's way when we are not in a good mood. It does imply that through their humor and attitude, can make people more excited about their work, remind them of this strength, and encourage them to use it. Right, look, some people don't understand my humor, but the whole purpose of my humor and my communication is for that reason. Cynics will quickly sap this person's energy. Don't expect them to enjoy cheering up negative people. Nope, not going to do it because I don't even like to engage with negative people. I've said that, okay? I have said that. They'll do better when asked to energize basically positive people who are simply in need of a spark. And this is true 100%. A relator, I do feel like I'm a relator because I like to develop genuine bonds with people, especially my colleagues. And these relationships, they take time to build. So you invest on them on a regular basis. And it can be disheartening when you think you have a real genuine relationship with someone just to find out that it was all smoke and mirrors, fake and phony on their end, but on your end, you were being really genuine. So it'll kind of make you draw back. Like for me, I'm a introverted extrovert. So it made me kind of go back into my shell. Think of introverts as like they live in a shell and they don't necessarily like to come out. They'll kind of peek their head out to see if it's okay. And if it's okay, they'll come out the shell and they'll maneuver. But when they engage in that type of environment or interaction, they will go back in their shell and they don't necessarily want to come back out because I'm an emotional person. I don't carry my emotions and stuff on my sleeve. At least I thought I did. But I don't like when my feelings get hurt. That's why I don't like let people get close to me. This person, it says, tell this person directly you care about them. More than likely, the language will not sound inappropriate and it'll be welcome. well, this is, I don't know why this is saying her and him. It should just say them. Um, they organize their life around their close relationships, so they'll want you to know where you stand. I don't organize my life around my close relationships. I organize my life around me. So that piece is not correct. It is not accurate. I organize my life around me because at the end of the day, if I don't take care of me, nobody else will. So no, I don't organize my life around close relationships. I have close relationships. I live in a city where my mom and my dad and a majority of my kids are not here. Like if I organize my life around my close relationships, I would be living very close to my mom and my kids or my dad and my other family, and I don't. So that piece is not true. Trust this person with confidential information. They're loyal, places a high value on trust, and will not betray yours. I am very big on trust. And like I had told you guys earlier, hey, I am not going to betray anybody's confidence. If they told me something in confidence, I'm not, I'm a vault. Okay. Even when you piss me off and make me mad, I still will not tell something that you told me in confidence. Responsibility. I'm not going to go through that one because I don't feel like it's me. So we have restorative. Ask this person for their observations when you want to identify a problem with your organization. Their insights will be particularly acute. And this kind of goes into my root cause analysis thing that I like to do, problem solving and escalations and things like that. Because when you have escalation, you really have to dig down to the root cause of it to figure out what caused it, what do you need to do to fix it, and what do you need to do to avoid it from ever happening again. So when a situation in your organization needs immediate improvement, turn to this person for help. They will not panic. Instead, they will respond in a focused, professional way. I believe in handling things at the smoke level because I do not like walking around putting out 1,001 fires. Like, to me, that is not proper management or leadership because that means you're missing it at smoke. When you catch it at smoke and nip it in the bud, then you have a free flow. Okay, so you might have had a little smoke, but it's good. But when you have a fire means disruption. A fire means everything must stop. Fire means you must leave the building until we put the fire out. So I don't like fires. I like to see no smoke, but if I see some smoke, I'm like, okay, let's deal with this. Whatever it is, let's identify it, let's fix it. Therefore, the smoke doesn't turn into fire, and then we can just keep going as normal. Okay. So as they say, I want all the smoke. Give me all the smoke. I'm handling it. Okay. I'm going to handle all the smoke. Okay. Give me all the smoke because I'm going to put it out. There wouldn't be no fires on my watch. Like, I don't like fires. Like, if I have a fire going on, what the hell happened? Okay. Because I like to fix it at smoke. And really, me having that reaction at fire means I miss the smoke. So I'm really beating myself up because why didn't I catch this? Why didn't I notice this? Why didn't I know about it? And then what caused it? How do we fix it? How do we stop it? So those type of things. Also, it says, offer your support when this person meets a particularly thorny problem. They define themselves by their ability to cope. They may feel personally defeated if a problem remains unresolved. Help them through it. So like I said, if something turns out to be a fire and I didn't catch it as smoke, whoo, baby, I am beating myself up like really, really bad about that. Self-assurance, which I feel that I have. If you're working on a team with this person, give them leeway in making decisions. They'll neither want nor require hand-holding. I don't need the leeway in making decisions, but whatever decision is made on the direction we're going, I can move with that, come back and ask questions when I need to, and I don't need you to hold my hand through it. I want you to have faith to know that, hey, I got it and I'm taking care of it. If you feel like you need updates on something, I'm okay with you coming and asking a question or whatever. And then I'm going to provide updates what's the word? At those right increments. Like, it's not going to be a step by step. Oh, this is what's going on. No, it's like, okay, we got this going on. When I feel like there's a good portion we're making progress, that's when I'm going to give you an update. Because if I have to come to you every step of the way, you may feel like you need to guide me on what to do next. Like I'm a little clueless. So I'm gonna just leave that right there. So That's self-assurance, which I feel I have. There's significance, which I don't have, but then there's strategic, which I do. Involve this person in planning sessions. Ask them, if this happened, what should we expect? If that happened, what should we expect? Always give this person ample time to think through a situation before asking for their input. They aren't likely to voice their opinion until they've played out a couple of scenarios in their mind. Again, that's that futuristic side. When you hear or read of strategies that worked in your field, share them with this person. It will stimulate their thinking. Then there's something called working with others who have woo. I don't have woo, but I'm gonna read it to you because this is the very last item. This person, help this person meet new people every day. They can put strangers at ease and help them feel comfortable with your organization. If you need to extend your own network, reach out to someone with strong woo talents. They will help you broaden your own connections and get you what you want. Understand that this person values having a wide network of friends. If they, it says they're quick to meet and greet and then move on. Do not take it personally. So for me, I can help people feel comfortable, and I can help people feel connected and things like that. But do I have a large circle? No, I do not. Do I feel the need to know a whole lot of people? No, my circle is very, 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 very small. Okay, my circle's small. I don't have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of associates. My circle is small. My circle knows me. I know them. And it's that way for a reason. I feel like when you have a very large, very broad circle, it's always something going on. It's a lot of negativity. It's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of cat fights. Just I don't have time for that. So I just wanted to take this time to share a live where I am talking about things that I feel people could really use in the business world. So if you are a business owner that you don't necessarily understand business, that you struggle with communication, hopefully these things will help you. You can go to Gallup and actually take the test where you can kind of find out your 5 top strengths. And like I said, one of mine is actually futuristic, and I have some other ones which I don't know where I did with my little paper that told me what my top 5 strengths were, but that's okay. Hopefully you like the live. Please like and share. If you like to see more of this type of things, please let me know. I plan on sharing business information, payroll information, and just different stuff because I'm in so many different buckets. Like I'm in a hair bucket, I'm in a business world bucket, I'm in a makeup bucket, I'm in a wig bucket. I'm in a lot of different buckets, but that's what makes me well-rounded. As they say, too much is given, much is required. So I don't want to go to the grave and leave my knowledge here. And I feel the best way for me to share my knowledge with other people, because I am an introvert, is through doing live videos. I have a book on Facebook that's called Creating Multiple Streams of Income, where I show people that are getting ready to start business how to get your federal employment identification number, how to complete your business registrations, how to better understand reading through the IRS publication 15, which is your Circular E, and just really walking you through the whole entire business process, up to marketing. Now, when you get to where it's time to market your business, I can't help you on that because I'm not good at marketing. I have Audra Richmond's book, Uncloned. And I love the book, and I think I'm halfway through it, and I had to stop because I had to rethink. Okay, well, what do I really want my offer to be? What do I really want to do? And I realized at this point, I'm not ready to charge anybody for my knowledge or my services. I've continually over these past 20, 25 years, I've shared this knowledge with my clients freely behind the chair, and I'm going to continue sharing it freely. And all that I'm asking, if you need my assistance in your business, whatever it may be, that we are able to do it live, and it'll be one-on-one, like maybe a Zoom call or something, and I can go and post that video where I'm actually showing people this is what I do, this is how I help people, and then your testimonial of what your thoughts was during the process. So 100% discount. Like my root cause analysis case studies, they start at $5,000. New business owners may not necessarily have $5,000 to pay me. So I behoove you to join the group on Facebook. It's called Creating Multiple Streams of Income. Currently, the banner is Glam Couture Hair. You'll see that. My IG, which is at Tot Styles, and that's TOTSTYLES. And I'm actually going to type it in here right now. I have a Glam Couture Hair Facebook group. I generally do lives on there when I am headed to the office in the mornings during the weekday. And that's where I'll be talking more on manifestation. So I have pinned that for you. And then if you want to join the Facebook group, it is called Creating Multiple Streams of Income. And hopefully you all like the live. And thank you very much. Peace out.